Welcome ladies and gents. In this video, I, Rob Christian, will present my review of Brother David Wood, his refutation video for Uthman ibn Farooq's claim about the so-called scientific miracle of the Quran. I will provide my review in the end of this video, so please keep watching until the end. So sit tight, fasten your seatbelts, and let us do this. Light it up!
The accepted theory today is called the nebular hypothesis. And according to this, the sun and the planets in our solar system began as a giant cloud of smoke. And then it came together as bodies, for example, planets and solar systems and galaxies.
What just happened? Shaykh Uthman correctly stated that the nebular hypothesis is a theory about the formation of our solar system, but then he goes on to pretend that the cloud of smoke that formed our solar system somehow formed entire galaxies.
The sun and the planets in our solar system began as a giant cloud of smoke. And then it came together as bodies, for example, planets and solar systems and galaxies.
The other problem is that he describes the nebular hypothesis as the claim that our solar system began as a cloud of smoke.
The sun and the planets in our solar system began as a giant cloud of smoke.
No, smoke is given off by the burning of organic material, things like wood, paper, coal, meat, and so on. The burning of organic material gives off small particles of carbon and carbon compounds. We don't refer to ordinary gases as smoke. That's the hypothesis that supposedly confirms Surah 41, verse 11 of the Quran, right? What was that verse again, Shaykh?
In the 41st chapter, in the 11th verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He directed Himself towards the heavens and there were smoke.
Here it is in the Quran. Notice that I blocked everything that Shaykh Uthman left out. Watch what happens if we simply finish reading verse 11. Then he turned to heaven while it was smoke, and said unto it and unto the earth, come willingly or unwillingly. They said, we come willingly. That's strange. The earth was already there alongside the cloud of smoke. According to the nebular hypothesis, was the earth already there alongside the initial cloud of smoke? Maybe we could try to fix this problem by saying that Allah was speaking to the particles in the cloud that would eventually become earth. Will that help? Here's an idea. Let's start 2 verses earlier and read the passage to see what's going on and to see if this really lines up with modern science. Starting in verse 9, say, do you indeed disbelieve in the one who created the earth in 2 days? And do you set up equals unto him? That is the Lord of the worlds. So Allah created the earth in 2 days. What did He do then? He placed firm mountains therein, rising above it, blessed it, and apportioned its means of sustenance therein in 4 days, alike for all who ask. So Allah created the earth in 2 days. Then, over the next 4 days, He set up all the mountains and provided sustenance, delicious food for all the creatures who would need it. What did He do next? Then He turned to heaven while it was smoke, and said unto it and unto the earth, come willingly or unwillingly. They said, we come willingly. So the earth was up and running, but the heaven was still just smoke. This is starting to not sound like the nebular hypothesis at all. Then He decreed that they be 7 heavens in 2 days, and revealed to each heaven its command. And we adorned the lowest heaven with lamps and a guard. That is the decree of the mighty, the knowing. Wow, so Allah turned the smoke into the 7 heavens after He set up the earth. He adorned the lowest heaven with lamps, referring to the stars. The lowest heaven, which contains the stars, is the universe that we're familiar with. This means that the 7 heavens and the stars came after the earth. This is why Shaykh Uthman thinks that the cloud that formed our solar system also formed other solar systems and galaxies. The smoke of verse 11 became the entire universe.
The sun and the planets in our solar system began as a giant cloud of smoke, and then it came together as bodies, for example, planets and solar systems and galaxies.
Putting all of this together, Allah created the earth, complete with mountains and various foodstuffs. Then Allah turned to the rest of the universe, which was a cloud of smoke, and He created the 7 heavens and filled the lowest heaven with stars. What's the sequence of events according to the Quran? The earth is up and running. Then Allah turns to the universe, which is just smoke, and organizes it. Then stars. Earth comes first. What was the sequence of events according to the nebular hypothesis? Stars are up and running, then stars explode, then a local cloud of gases and debris come together, then a new star, then Earth. Earth comes last. The Quran states the exact opposite of what the nebular hypothesis claims. So here's the methodology of many of these scientific arguments for the divine inspiration of the Quran. Step 1. Go to a passage of the Quran. That passage might contain 10 different claims. Find the one that you can somehow, by some stretch of rhetoric, link to a modern scientific theory, and then ignore everything else in the passage. Step 2, go to a modern scientific theory. That scientific theory might make 10 different claims. Find the claim that you can somehow, by some stretch of rhetoric, link to a verse of the Quran, and then ignore everything else in the theory. Step 3, announce to your listeners that the Quran has been confirmed by modern science, but only share the tiny part of the Quran passage that you can link to some scientific theory, and only share the tiny part of the scientific theory that you can link to the Quran. Under no circumstances do you give your listeners the rest of the Quran passage or the rest of the scientific theory, because that would completely destroy the illusion. That's what this looks like to a novice like myself. But now we have a Muslim scholar who can clear things up for us. Shaykh Uthman ibn Farooq is the teacher, I am the student. So I ask him, Shaykh Uthman, why didn't you quote the entire verse, and why didn't you quote the entire passage? And once we read the entire passage, do you really think it's confirmed by modern science? And what about all of the parts of the nebular hypothesis that completely contradict the Quran? Are those parts of the theory wrong? If so, why would you appeal to a theory that's full of holes? I humbly await your response, Shaykh Uthman.
Hello guys, nice to see you again. I really felt the urge to jump in and give my personal review about this refutation video of brother David Wood. David Wood did an amazing job and he destroyed Uthman ibn Farooq's argument here. But I do think he could have done a much better job in the end, and here is why. Not sure if this has to do with him being out of the scene for at least 6 months or so, but I wished he could have added the following proof that I am about to present to you to completely finish off Uthman ibn Farooq and his so-called scientific miracle of the Quran. Which is total nonsense, of course, and opposite what modern science teaches. I think David dropped the ball here to destroy Uthman ibn Farooq without any mercy. Now, if we go to Ibn Kathir's Tafsir for the same chapter 41, ayahs 9 to 12, we can read the following. And here is Ibn Kathir's Tafsir for chapter 41, ayah 11. ثُمَّ أَسْتَوَى إِلَى السَّمَاءِ وَهِيَ دُخَانٌ. And Ibn Kathir is going to give his tafsir. Look what it says. Then he, Allah, rose over, istawa ila, towards the heaven, when it was smoke, i.e. steam or smoke, which arose from it when the earth was created. So according to Ibn Kathir's tafsir for this ayah, the steam or the smoke that Ibn Fibn is talking about comes from the earth. Did you catch it? So the smoke that is supposedly everything is created from comes from the earth itself. Now, which modern scientist would agree with that? That first you have the earth, and from the earth, because of the creation of the earth, you get the smoke. So the smoke comes from the earth, and from the smoke, later all the planets and the stars and so on are created. So you see, I wish that David Wood would have added this part to his refutation, because the smoke did not pop up out of nowhere. No, the smoke itself that the Quran is talking about, dukhanun, comes from the earth itself. So now we completely finished off Uthman ibn Farooq's argument and the Quran at the same time. Thank you for watching. Please share this video and God bless.